Oh, but when will this Greg Dulcich saga come to a conclusion? Greg Dulcich is somebody that the Denver Broncos, for better or for worse, are going to be depending on this season because the Broncos did not address the tight end room in the draft or in free agency. The Broncos tight end room is currently status quo, and I'm somebody who has been a big opponent of that. I don't think this is a good tight end room. In fact, I think it's the worst tight end room in the NFL. A Pro Football Focus article that recently came out agrees with me. Now, we have a really concerning situation that continues to develop with Greg Dulcich as he was not out on the field, at least on the main field, during OTAs. In Thursday's practice that the media got to observe, Greg Dulcich was on the side field doing work, doing rehab work. He wasn't participating in on-the-field drills. Here we sit in May of 2024. He initially suffered this injury in August of 2023, and we still are not 100% healthy. That is a big problem. I want to bring in this clip of Sean Payton addressing Greg Dulcich, and he does say that Greg Dulcich is progressing, and he doesn't believe it's a situation where he's not going to be back till training camp. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, he's close. Man, he's had all the work done. We're encouraged. I think you'll see him sooner than later, and we want to be smart.
Does he have some kind of off-season procedure or something?
Well, no, look, there's been trips back and forth relative to checkups, but his rehab has gone well, and it's not going to be we don't see him till training camp.
With Sean saying that he expects him to be back sooner rather than later, and it's not going to be we're not going to see him until training camp, I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. I want to bring in what Sean Payton said about Greg Dulcich in December. He said, in fairness to the question, I usually don't like talking about injuries, but I just want to make sure this was unrelated to his hamstring. He just had some swelling and soreness in his foot. We took him off weight bearing for a day or two. I'm anxious to see how he does this week. I expect him to play at some point these final 3 weeks, but I don't want you to think it was something that was going to preclude him from doing that. We'll see where he's at this week. It's literally the same type of language and the same message. Oh, we'll see where he's at. He should be ready to go soon. We're hopeful to see him soon. You know, I don't know what you can sit here and believe at this point in time. I really don't, because Sean Payton said we were going to see Greg Dulcich in just a few weeks after he initially suffered this injury in August. And now here we sit in May, and these issues are not behind Greg Dulcich. That's a problem. And if this continues, then Greg Dulcich may very well find himself without a job. I want to bring in this second clip here from Andrew Mason. Thank you to Mace for the first clip as well. And thank you to Mile High Huddle for that article. Payton really gassed up Greg Dulcich in his press conference today, or not Greg Dulcich, excuse me, Lucas Kroll. He really gassed up Lucas Kroll in his press conference today, and Kroll could be a guy who could be taking some snaps from Greg Dulcich here pretty soon. He's already getting those snaps right now with Dulcich not on the field.
Man, I thought he's had a good week. And I said, you know, if you didn't notice, everyone in the media was looking down at the rosters to see who 85 was. And I said, someday soon they're going to know who 85 is. He's looking sharp.
Sean doesn't dish out that kind of compliments very often. He just doesn't do that. So Lucas Kroll must be making a massive impact on the field, and I'd be scared if I'm Greg Dulcich. It's frustrating and it's sad for a player who has such potential, but eventually that potential is going to have to translate onto the field into production. And that just hasn't happened for Greg Dulcich. Yes, you can blame the injuries, but there's some point where he's going to have to produce and showcase why the Denver Broncos took him in the third round in 2022. Otherwise, Greg Dulcich is going to find himself out of a job. I feel terrible for him that these injuries continue to plague him, but he may very well be the next Jake Butt, where he had all the talent and potential, but injuries just held him back, and it's frustrating. I'm really excited, though, for Lucas Kroll. I think with Sean Payton dishing out these kind of compliments, Kroll's going to have an even bigger role in this offense than some of us imagined. I was somebody who kind of pumped the brakes on Kroll a little bit just because, again, he's an undrafted free agent. We didn't really know exactly what we were going to get. It was the same thing where eventually that potential was going to have to translate into production. And apparently that potential is translating into production for a guy like Lucas Kroll. And that is very, very good news. And again, very, very frustrating news for Greg Dulcich. All right, Broncos country, let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about this whole Greg Dulcich situation at this point in time? Do you guys feel like anything we get out of him is house money, or do you feel like Greg Dulcich can still be an impact player on this Broncos offense, a player that the Broncos can depend on? Drop those comments down below, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts, as always. Be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, guys. We are getting close to 3,400 subscribers. I believe we can hit that by the end of the day, and I'm really hopeful that we can hit 3,500 subscribers by the end of the month. I think that is very possible, guys. All right, and until next time, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.